This is the Coming Home Podcast with John Allen. 3, 2, 1, and welcome everybody to this episode of the Coming Home Podcast with John Allen. Today I'm speaking with an old friend, Fredrik. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having me back. That's
Again,
so cool.
A repeat performance.
It's good to talk to you now, though, after, when was it, May? When we talked with each other last time?
Yeah, was it late May, early June, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Things have changed.
Have things changed?
For me, it has.
Tell me about it. I know one thing. I know one thing that's...
My song was supposed to be out now, like we talked about last time. There's a lot that changed with plans. That's what I mean, I think.
I
lost
see.
a couple of jobs. I've done like many different things, and still have to do music on top of that. And now it's finally finished.
Okay.
That's why I'm here talking to you right now.
Okay. Now I like that. Now I like that a lot. Because I'm trying to remember. I believe it was in late May, and at that time the release of your single was right around the corner.
Yeah.
So tell me. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we were supposed to release it in like late summer. I was thinking August, and then I was thinking, maybe on my birthday in November. And then December came, and I was like, okay, 2021 then. That's fine. I can't release a song like December 19th or whatever. So 15th of January, that's the official date. Now we have it.
15th of January.
Yeah.
So what got in the way of the release?
I mean, the world got in the way because everything stopped, and
COVID-19 and all.
Yeah, being a musician in 2020 hasn't been easy. At least not for me, because I don't get anything from like the state or anything.
Right.
So I haven't written any music.
Yeah.
And I make all my plans myself. There's no one organizing it for me.
For my American listeners, I just want to explain what you said about you don't get any money from the state. Here in Norway, it's I was going to say it's quite easy, but it's actually quite competitive. But you can apply to be funded by the state. In other words, that the government will actually pay you for all of your productions, and you can get support for touring and recording and everything. So that's what you were talking about the state. I was going to throw a joke in there and say you're too good to get to get support from the state, because some of those people, and maybe I'm being a hater, but some of those people I'm like, I know somebody who deserves that money a little bit more.
I agree with you. And when I see the amount of money they get as well.
Yes.
Have you seen all the numbers? Oh,
God, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think one guy got over 10 million kroners.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Production, but it's still 10 million. And if I were supposed to just stop working, do nothing, and get money from the state, I get barely enough to survive. And not even. I had to go through my own money too.
And think about how many years of working a 9-to-5 you would have to do in order to make 10 million. It's crazy. Yeah. It's ridiculous. The thing is, I'm kind of joking when I say some of these people don't deserve it, but on the other side, I know some people who, I have a friend who's actually putting together it's a whole album and a stage musical that he's going to film. Mm-hmm. And he was able to get funding for that through the state. So it is actually put to good use from time to time.
I love the system. I do actually, but
well, there's an art. There's an art to applying for that money. You have to word it. There's a facet answer. You have to word it so specific about exactly what that money is going to be used for, and it helps to have a name. It helps to know somebody in that system,
And I think they do. So if I had 10 scheduled shows at Oslo Spectrum, and then all of them were cancelled, I lost a very big amount of income. And I think they base it on that as well. I think. Yeah. I don't know for sure.
How many seats are at the Oslo Spectrum? I've been there before, but I can't. How many?
I think about 8,000.
8,000. I saw Prince there. It was the absolute best concert of my life.
You know who I saw there in February?
Who'd you see there?
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. Ah, yeah. Yeah, you know what? I think you told me that the first time you were on the podcast. Yeah.
You need to listen to the last episode if you want to hear that conversation. You saw Prince. I saw Prince.
Yeah, it was just a couple of days after all the shootings on Utøya and the bombing, and it was just a couple of days after that. He had 2 shows, and we were at the second show.
How was that?
Oh, like I said, it's the best musical performance I've ever seen live, ever. He totally redid, and he's known for this. He totally will redo the musical arrangements from time to time. You know, a song that's maybe mostly like an R&B, he'll switch it up into a rocker, or a rock song, he'll switch it up to jazz. Well, this night he was feeling very instrumental R&B and jazz. He sang very little, and he was just going off on his guitar and his keyboard. I don't have words for it. It was just he did a guitar solo, one hand just fretting with the one hand, soloing, and doing a keyboard solo with his other hand. Like I have never. Yeah.
That's Prince.
Yeah, that's Prince.
Imagine being so good. Imagine being that good. That's what we're all striving for, isn't it?
It was his musicianship, but it was also his overall confidence. He's good and he knows it, and he displays. You know, a lot of people think he comes off as arrogant. I just think he comes off as extremely sure of what he is capable of doing.
Yeah.
So he had this stage presence and persona that was just incredible. Besides the musicianship.
Yeah, you need to. I mean, that's the thing I look up to for those people, because they don't do anything that they're not supposed to do. They don't show up on like small little TV shows or reality TV or anything. They're musicians. That's it. Okay, if you like them, that's fine. But he's just a musician. He's just a guy doing music. He's very good at it, though.
Yeah.
But
gosh, I miss him. Oh, I miss him.
Yeah, that's sad. That's very sad.
He is probably. I've been upset. I've been genuinely upset about 2 celebrity deaths. One of them is Prince. I was so upset when he passed away, and I got extremely upset when Robin Williams passed away.
Yes.
2 of my heroes, one in music, one in comedy, and it hurt me. I felt that. I really felt it.
Yeah, that's a strange feeling.
It is weird. It's almost embarrassing. It's almost embarrassing. You know, people will be, stop being a pussy. You didn't know him. You know, but I didn't know them. But you know, I've been a fan of Prince since 1978, since he came out with his first album. I've been a fan of Robin Williams since Mork and Mindy, back in the late 70s, early 80s when he had a TV show.
And you've been looking forward to them releasing stuff and performing and seeing them and following their journey.
Yeah.
And then they're suddenly gone. The journey is over. The story has been told. So,
speaking of following journeys,
yes,
let's talk about your journey. Because I saw something. You hipped me to this thing about Reddit. Now I have the Reddit app on my telephone, but I never use it. I think I've used it once when I signed up. I had to go in and log in and all that stuff. And then you told me yesterday about this phenomenon on Reddit. I never thought of Reddit as a platform for musicians to perform. But you're doing that.
I don't think many people do. I think people think of Reddit as like the meme page.
Yeah.
You go there and you watch a couple cool cat videos, and then you just read the newspaper or something.
Yeah.
But I've been using Reddit for many years. I have an account there, and I go and comment on stuff and community on it.
When did you decide to start performing on Reddit?
Well, they started the live stream thing that I do there not so long ago, and I saw it popping up on the front page. And there were people playing guitar and singing just like I do, and I watched the live streams, and I was like, okay, she's good, he's good, and I could do that too. And so I went onto the subreddit, and you had to have like 250 upvotes or karma on some other comment, so you can go in there. So it's not.
Okay.
They know that I'm not a spam account.
Okay.
And getting 250 upvotes on Reddit is not easy. You have to like comment on. I think I commented on about 200 posts just to get all those upvotes. So it took me a month, and then I got in and I started live streaming, and people were like starting to watch here and there, and then people were starting to recognize me from the day before, since I did it every day. And now there's many people who comes back almost every day to watch me play.
Yeah, because when I was listening and watching yesterday, I was seeing it seemed like from the comments that people were writing, it was as if they knew who you were. Somebody was like, there's that Norwegian guy again, or little things.
Who I am.
Yeah.
They really do. I mean, we have a group chat even that I talk to them on almost every day.
Wow.
I send them to do stuff for me on Instagram if I see someone, or if I have a plan, say, to go comment on this and his or her post and tell them to bring me on tour the next time you're going somewhere.
Smart. That's networking right there.
Yeah. And like sending messages to the radio stations, and now I have people all over the world sending messages from me to media houses.
So how many people do you think were listening last night when I was watching?
Well, that's the thing with Reddit, because I want to tell you how it works before I answer that.
Yeah, do that, because again, I'm totally unfamiliar with how Reddit works.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say there are 15 people streaming on that subreddit, and I go in and I'm number 16. That means I'm on the bottom of the list. And then say you pop onto Reddit and you see me and then you upvote the stream.
Right.
And maybe I go onto the 15th place.
I see.
And that happens. You level up all the time.
Okay.
And then at some point there's 50 people watching maybe, and all of them commenting, and all of them have pressed the like or follow button. Then you can go trending, and that's when you get on the front page.
I see.
And that's when everyone is watching.
Okay.
Then it goes from about 50 people to 4,000 people in 10 seconds.
Wow.
So I think I think about 500 people watched the stream yesterday, which for me, I 500 people is a good amount of people.
That's a good audience. That's a good audience.
If I had 100,000 people watching every day, I would be swimming in money. Okay, so 500 is good for me. Usually, I go out and play for 30 people at a cafe or a bar.
Right.
So 500.
Well, that's a good crowd.
That's a good crowd. But when we were speaking, when I was speaking about this podcast yesterday, probably like 20, 25 people.
Oh yeah, and by the way, thank you for doing that, for giving a shout out while you're there. I love you. Thank you for doing that. Yeah.
I'm going to tell them about it when there's many more people watching too.
Well, thank you.
Hopefully, I want to beat the record from last time. I want this to be the most listened to podcast now. Yeah,
you had for a long time. I'm not sure where you are now. You're still in the top 15, and this episode here will be episode 96, I believe, and you're still in the top 15 for my all-time downloads and listens.
I heard you had Side Ali on here. I listened to that episode because he's like a childhood hero of mine. So I was like, oh damn, John got Side Ali. That's cool.
He what a guy. I don't know. Something happened around episode 50, 55, where I lost all of my fear and anxiety about approaching celebrities or people who were at least better known than me. So I just, if I want them on, I ask, and if they say yes, great. If they say no, I'll ask again. It used to be something that intimidated me, but now I'll just ask. And Ali is wow, what a guy. He actually, I don't know how much I inspired him, but he started a podcast of his own after. Yes. Yeah. He has his own podcast.
If he starts a podcast, I think so. You like that. I want to come back if you ask him again.
Oh yeah, I would really love to have him back. It was we went to his town, and it's actually the only podcast I've ever done remote. I took all my equipment, and took my wife with me, and we sat in some restaurant in Halden, and sat there. Horton, I'm sorry, Horton. Yeah. Horton, Halden. Yeah, potato.
It's on the different side of the
totally different area. And we sat down in this restaurant, and I thought, because he's a celebrity, because he has so much work to do all the time, I figured I'd be lucky if I could have him talk for a half hour. But if I remember right, it was like an hour and a half. He just was so generous.
Yeah, good long episode.
Yeah, he was so generous with his time, and we had such a good discussion. And yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, Horton is a beautiful city, though.
Yeah,
my great grandmother used to live there before she died. So I was there a lot in my childhood too.
It's a very quaint little town. It's the right size. I don't like cities. I never feel comfortable in a city, but I felt comfortable there. It wasn't too big.
You have your little mall, and you have everything you need.
Yeah.
You can have a very nice house in Horten for half of what an old apartment costs in Oslo.
And you have Zahid Ali there. So what else do you need? So.
Yeah, I mean, if he puts on a show every now and then, I can go see some stand-up too. All the time.
That guy is very talented. He told me a couple of things that he has, in the works that may be coming later. He stays busy. He's very creative.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
He
inspired me.
Him when I was like, I think I was probably too old to actually watch his videos, because his humor it's a grown up.
It's a grown up. It is not for children.
No, and I was probably 11, 12. And we were all like quoting his lines in school, saying it's cool to say.
Yeah, he's become a culture hero, a culture figure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But but back to you now with this Reddit thing. Now you have people who, you're in a chat group, you have all these people coming on. Sometimes there's thousands of people looking at you. What opportunity has that opened for you? Do you have any kind of tangible result from this new exposure that has brought you further in your career?
Yeah, there is, like, in today's music industry and today's society, if you want to be a musician that earns any money, you have to have followers. Because that's what the big companies look for. I mean, if I were to go ask a venue if I could play there, and they look at my Instagram and I have 100 people following me, the answer is probably going to be no.
Right,
okay.
Right.
And I think I've gotten 1,500 new followers in about 2 months, which is still a very good amount for me.
That's very good.
And also on Instagram and stuff like that. And there's much more activity around me now, surrounding me. People are actually looking forward to listening to my music when it comes out.
Wow, man, that's
the most important thing.
That's fantastic.
I think I procrastinated very much with the release that's coming up now. It could have been out a long time ago.
But maybe the timing is right now. Maybe this is the way it was supposed to be. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, because now I'm motivated to do it.
Yes.
Now I'm looking forward to, I'm counting the days until the song comes out, and I'm listening to myself every day.
What's the name of the song? What's the name of the song?
Yeah, that's also a thing, because that's the thing that changed. I think last time it's the same song that we talked about on the last podcast, but then the name of the song was Feels Like. Now it's not anymore. It's Before You Know.
Before You Know.
It's coming out on the 15th of January. Remember that?
I'm going to make sure. I'll make sure I post that for the people who listen to this episode, so that they can mark that on their calendars. The 15th of January.
The final version of the song also after this. Probably should have sent it before.
Now, is this an acoustic number, just you on acoustic guitar, or is there a more of a broader production?
It's a production around it.
Okay.
So you heard it, basic version of it that I sent to you before we did the first podcast. but now it's polished and nice and sounding great. And so I've challenged the people that's watching me. I've said if they get me 25,000 streams, then I'll release the second song.
So there you go.
That means if that's finished too. So that means if they get 25,000 streams the first day,
then here comes the second song.
The other song the day after.
That's a great way of doing it. That is a great way of marketing. A lot of people will put information out there, for marketing, and then it stops. But you have to put the information out there, but you also have to engage your audience. You have to have them do something to actively help you to promote your work. And it sounds like you're doing that. Yeah.
I mean, you need to incentivize listening to the song, I think.
Absolutely.
I think about myself, and I see a lot of people, I'm sorry to all the people, but I see a lot of people posting like, okay, my songs come out. Great. But most of the time, I shouldn't say this, but I don't go to it. Okay?
It's a secret. We won't tell anyone. Go ahead.
That's just another picture. All right. But if I see that, okay, I can help someone. If I just listen to the song once, maybe it's bad, I don't care.
Yeah.
But then maybe the people who likes it get the other song quicker.
Yeah.
And even if they don't like it, they'll probably listen just because they want the next song to make fun of. You know? So it can't go wrong.
It can't.
I don't care what people think, because I think the song's pretty good. So I think that's a good strategy. I just don't know what to expect, because I think 25,000 would be a great number to reach on the first release.
I think that would definitely.
I don't know where I'm setting the bar. I mean, I haven't done that before.
Yeah, that's a hard situation to be in. Where do you set the bar? But the thing is when you set the bar, now you've set the bar. You want 25,000 streams. And when you get those 25,000 streams and you release the second song, just make sure you raise the bar.
Yeah.
Make sure you're thinking, how do I activate my audience even more? How do I grow my audience even more so that the next bar might be 35,000, and so on.
We're going to double it.
But I'll tell you this, 25,000 streams and one 45-minute to an hour-long Reddit video of you performing will be more than enough, I think, to open the door to success for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, man, when I sat there watching you, it's captivating. Your choice of music genre, that quiet acoustic sound, with these lyrics that just grab the listener. It grabbed me anyway. And I would have to say, I think I can safely say that everyone else who is listening to you agrees with this. You have that voice, you have your guitar playing, and you have those lyrics. And there are people out there, more than 25,000, who want to hear that. So what I'm saying is 25,000 streams is pretty significant here in Norway. Somebody who has the ability to help you broaden your audience will take notice of that. And I think you are I think you're half a step away from the kind of success that will put you in a situation where you're struggling on how to deal with it. I think that's coming for you. I said it first.
I really appreciate that, because you know what, you're the type of guy that I like. How can I say this right? I mean, I believe you when you're telling me this.
Oh, it comes from the heart. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I struggle with taking compliments.
Well, you're Norwegian. You're Norwegian.
But I believe you. I'm taking that. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you.
It's it comes from the heart, and I mean when I say I've got a pretty good ear for music. I know what talent is. I know what good music is, and I don't know what you're doing now. It fits the times. It fits the time. I think now people have time to sit and watch a Reddit video where you're performing for an hour. Now they have the time to do that. Mm-hmm. So it's all about timing. Everything comes in its place, and I think your time is now.
I mean, the Reddit thing has changed my year so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I didn't do Reddit, if I just, okay, let's say I'll just wait, I'll just leave the music for a while and come back when everything opens again,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't start. I mean, maybe I'll get a new job and then music was just a hobby suddenly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just so thankful that I did that and that people come back and listen to me. That's like extremely, extremely cool. I never thought that would be the case. And now,
yeah. Well, I can identify.
I mean,
I can identify with that. I started doing this podcast for myself, for my own reasons. But then, when people contact me and tell me that this, that, or the other episode helped them in some way, it makes me humble. It's a humbling experience when you know that you're actually reaching people. And then you doing what you're doing on Reddit, you see the reaction right then and there. You see how many people are listening. You see the comments they're making, and that must be quite the feeling of satisfaction.
Think about like the first time when I got trending on Reddit, and there were 2,000 people watching me. I was nervous as hell. I mean,
I can imagine.
Now 2,000 people watching me right now, okay? But then I thought, I'm still alone in my room playing in front of my phone. So then I wasn't so scared anymore because I had full control. I can just cancel the stream. I can just press the button and then they're all gone.
Yeah, yeah.
And if I've never done that though, but maybe I will someday if I make a huge mistake or if something comes up, because you don't want to be on a stage in front of 2,000 people and the fire alarm goes off, because then you can't just pause it.
Yeah.
So it's good training too.
Yeah, it is. But then you get to a certain point where you have so much confidence in what you're doing that you can actually mess up during a song, stop and start over and make a joke about it. I saw Neil Young do that. I saw him at what's it called? Concerthuset? Yeah, Concerthuset in Oslo. Some years ago, he was on a solo tour. And he messed up during one song, and then he stopped and he says, "Oh, I messed up." He says, "I'm at that age now where I have to have my lyrics in front of me." And he picked up some papers off of the floor and he waved them in the air. He says, "But now the problem is that I'm at the age where I can't see as good as I used to." So he just made a joke out of it. Everybody clapped, and he went back and started the song over. So that's being in control. That's being sure of yourself to where you can admit your mistakes in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to compare myself to him, but I do that all the time too. I make mistakes, and I'm like staring into the camera, just making a stupid face, just to like take the tension out of it. Yeah. And then sometimes I do weird stuff while I play and look around it, and suddenly I remember, people are actually watching, so maybe I should look into the camera and be there. I mean.
Well, you seemed very, very relaxed last night. You looked nervous the first song, and I could hear it in your voice. You didn't quite have it, but after the first song, man, you seemed so calm and in control. It was a good performance.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, hey, you got to warm up. Take the first song for warm up. Yeah. Yeah,
and I'm very bad at that too. So the first song that I play on stream, that's right after I've come home, taken off my jacket, sat down on the sofa.
And right into record. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I never take the time. I never have 20 minutes to be like...
Well, it's all about playing away the stress. When I come and sit down in my studio and I'm going to work on something, I might have to play that guitar or the keyboard for a few minutes before I'm really in the moment. I got to play away all of the extra thought and play away the stress of the day, and then I can get to work for real.
You need to find that little groove, and then you can just ride it all the way. That's fun, and that's the same with comments too, because I read the comments in between the songs, and I talk to the people that's watching. If you want to have a conversation with me, you can just choose to do so. You can just put a comment in, and then I will see it. I will read that. Most, at least, if there is a lot of people watching, it can go a little bit fast, and I don't So on Reddit, you have 45 minutes to play. And if you get awards, which people can give you, you get more time. And I don't want to use all the time when there's a lot of people watching just talking.
Oh, so there's a time limit on how long are you allowed to stream then before it goes off?
For some reason, now I have 3 hours, but and that's way too much. I never play for 3 hours, but normally you have 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a good amount of time to sit and play solo. So then, so if you take the time in between songs to chat with the people a little bit, I think that just makes a more honest experience, a more inclusive experience for the viewers.
Mm-hmm. And I try to intro my songs while I'm playing the melody in the background.
I saw that.
And doing it making it a little bit entertaining, probably because I've listened to so much radio, where they always have an intro over like the first 15 seconds of the songs.
Yeah.
Just introducing him and then starting playing, and then you listen, and then it's a conversation, so it never stops.
Yeah.
I mean, try to keep it an ongoing thing for the 45 minutes.
I was wondering, was there any adjustment? Was there any uncomfortable period where, I mean, you're speaking English with me now, and your English is fine, but I would imagine you're more used to, when you perform, you're used to speaking just Norwegian, right? So here on Reddit, you're communicating in English. Was there any difficulty in that?
I remember Said Ali talked about this, because he said when he's speaking English, he's not that quick that he usually is. And I feel that too, but I've done that every day now for 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And it's helping my English too, I think. I mean, I feel more comfortable talking.
I can imagine, yeah.
It never felt that weird. I've lived in England. I've been around.
That's
so, yeah. I haven't thought about that until now.
I put myself in your shoes as the entertainer, and how I could never imagine doing stand-up in Norwegian. I could never imagine performing my music in Norwegian. I just wouldn't be able to do it, because it's not my thinking language. It's not my language of honest expression. So I was just wondering if you kind of felt that in any way when you're performing.
I think it's different with English, because you haven't, when you were a child, you didn't watch Norwegian television.
No.
I was watching Family Guy when I was 8 years old.
And that means a lot. Yeah, that means a lot to be hearing that language day in and day out through different media
Children
formats.
Learn. And all the music I listen to is English, or most of the music I listen to is English. My own music is in English too, so it was natural to talk English when I was performing. But it took some time to get into it, and sometimes I stutter and I don't remember a word here and there. And that's just a part of the package.
That's just a part of the package, yeah. Well, and I know from an American standpoint, I don't know about other English-speaking countries, but Americans in general think that someone who is speaking English with some sort of accent, when English is not their first language, we think that's charming. So. Yeah.
A lot of people has commented on Reddit saying, "Oh, his accent is so cool."
Yeah.
And I don't think so. I don't think about how I speak in English.
You just speak English. Yeah.
I think that's right. No, but the quickness and I could have, if I were in. Like, if English was my mother's tongue and I could just talk or think in English, then I would be a little bit quicker. But now I've done to think in between the sentences.
But as much as you're using it now, it's just going to get better and better. So yeah.
Probably.
What do you have any? Do you have any concrete plans? Okay, let's say your song gets 25,000 streams. Let's say you double your social media presence. What are you going to do with that? Because that will bring you a certain currency. That will bring you some power to make a few things happen. What would you do with that?
I mean, concrete plans now is very, very hard to give.
Yeah.
Because I don't know when I can start playing again. But I'm going to release. I'm in the studio all the time now, and I'm getting much better at being in the studio. Now I get what I can do, and yeah, I've got songs ready to go.
Okay.
So the 20,000 one, then I released one 50,000. I think we'll see after. I want to double it. So on 50,000, there's another song, and then another one after that too.
Yeah.
And let's say things happen. I want to go. I want to go on a tour, and I want to warm up for somebody.
What's your plan to make that happen? Do you have management? Do you have a band that you've put together, or are you trying to do all this on your own? Everything yourself? I'm
doing everything myself.
Okay.
I have a producer that I work with, and he's very, very, very good, and I love working with that guy. And I have friends that's been doing events all around town that I hang out with almost every day.
Yeah.
So I have people helping me.
Yeah.
But I'm doing mostly everything by myself.
Yeah. Well, it's always best to be in charge, but it's also smart to have that assistance. But again, you're still in charge, because a lot of people, they start chasing that fame and recognition, and while they're doing that, they've lost control of their own art.
Yeah.
And that would be a sad thing.
And I think many opportunities open also for artists to go to managements, because they know how to find people.
Yeah.
So if there's any managements people listening, then you contact me, watch my streams, and maybe see if you like me.
I tell you, I think you would be. I think you would be so easy to book. You would be a management's dream. All it takes is a nice photograph, and spend some money and shoot like a 30-second promo video of you playing live, and send that out to any venue anywhere, and I guarantee you there's a booking for you there. It's that easy, really.
An important thing to note then, if there's anyone listening, I make my songs so that I can play the songs the same way.
Very important that they know that.
I sound like my songs, okay? I can do them live. Many times I don't even need to warm up. Maybe I sound a little bit nervous in the start, but I'm feeling confident now. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's important to say, because a lot of this stuff is so overproduced that the artist, maybe because of lack of talent, maybe because overproduction, they're unable to perform their music live. But you can do that.
And if you listen to my music, you get stories that happened to me. I wrote the songs. I wrote the guitar part. I did all the harmonies. I had a finger in everything in the songs. It's not something that I just went to the studio and sang, and then it's out one day.
You put a lot of feeling.
I've been working on for years.
Yeah, you put a lot of time. You put a lot of feelings and emotion. You put your heart into this. This is you put your life into this project. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it shows.
Music is the only thing I'm focusing on.
Yeah, and it shows. It shows that you've put so much into it. Absolutely. But I think you would be a management's dream. The only thing is now, with COVID-19 and there's no venues that are open. But I don't know. Just wait. I said it first. I'm the first one to predict this. I think you are half a step away from significant success with your music. I truly believe that.
That's very kind of you. I hope so. I want to level up. That's what I've been talking to with my friends. I feel like I'm on the right path, and even though COVID happened and nobody could play anymore, I found a way to still get the graph going the right way. And I'm very, very happy. That's what I'm going to remember from 2020 now.
Hold on 1 second. Snoopy just came in here. I need to ask her something. Hey, Snoop, would you be a good little thing and get me some water, please? Oh, God. And she looks at me like, come on. You can fix about 300 years of oppression of the black man by getting this one a glass of water right now. Thank you. And such is a typical conversation between Snoopy and I. Oh, she's the best. She's the best. I couldn't do this.
I saw you on television, and I saw you talking in Norwegian, and I must say I was a little bit surprised about your accent.
Oh yeah.
I knew that your wife is Same, isn't she?
Yeah. Finnmark, yeah.
But I didn't even think about, since you live here.
Yes.
In Drammen.
Yes.
And yeah, I was surprised.
But
you have an accent from very far away, from Oslo or Drammen or anywhere near here.
Yes, I do. But I've lived, most of my time has been up north. Hold on one second. Thank you. What was I saying? Yeah, most of my time I've lived up north. Mm-hmm. I came back. I started off in Drammen, or actually out in Hurum for a while, and then Nedre Eiker, and then we moved up north to Finnmark. Oh. And then from Finnmark, we moved to a place in Nord-Troms, and it's just now in 2014 that we came down to Drammen. So, yeah.
I could imagine that was why. Or because your wife talks in the same accent too. I think it's a cool accent. You definitely stand out.
Well, thank you for that. But actually, my wife speaks, from every once in a while, she can float into that Finnmark, that northern accent. Mm-hmm. But she spent most of her childhood in Hurum. It's her father who is Samisk. So she heard him speaking, the Finnmark dialect, and then her mother was from Vestlandet with a very nynorsk. So my wife speaks from time to time like a mix of all of that.
That's a cool combination.
Yeah.
I have the most boring one. I'm the basic.
basic Oslo, basic Østlandet. No, so I don't know. I get a lot of comments. People are very surprised when they hear me speak Norwegian for the first time. But my dialect is not a pure Finnmark dialect because I picked up some things from Nord-Troms, because a lot of people think Northern Norway is the same dialect. It's not. There's some differences there. And then also from that time when we were living in Hurum, we lived with my wife's parents. So I picked up a lot of Vestlandsk nynorsk from her mother. So I speak kind of with a mix of all that, but mostly it's that northern.
You're used to, or I'm used to, when I hear Americans talk in Norwegian, I am used to, I know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
With you, I was surprised. I was very surprised. That's the first time I've heard that. That's cool.
I'm full of surprises. Yeah, but I guess you've never heard me speak Norwegian except for them, because at these open mics at Steinars, I spoke English all the time for my routine and everything.
English with each other. And,
yeah.
I mean, it's very natural though, since you lived there for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was I thinking of? Yeah, I would think because girls with accents, it sounds so exotic, and I understand what they're saying.
Yes.
It feels like I'm speaking another language, but I understand it in a way.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing.
What's the sexiest Norwegian dialect for a woman?
I don't know. Maybe this is a controversial one.
Yeah.
I know you have Mr. Sørvik on your podcast.
Yeah.
And he has a stand-up bit. I'm not going to tell you, but it's that he hates his own accent. And that accent I love. All of a sudden, murder.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try speaking that way because I won't do it.
No, I have to say, and maybe I'm biased, but I have to say that Finnmark dialect is the best. Actually, I'll say anywhere from Narvik and up north from there. All of those dialects, they just sound so musical, and that's what I compare it to. It sounds musical to me. It's a musician's ear type of thing.
Probably the only Norwegian accent that's been like sexualized through the media for years.
Yeah.
In the television series, on the radio, and commercials. If you have like a bra you wanna do a campaign for, you're getting someone from up north to do the voiceover.
Yes. So maybe that's it. Maybe I saw a couple of TV commercials when I first came here back in 2002, and maybe that's what got me thinking about that dialect.
You flip the switch in your brain and you just
and just let it go
to Tromsø or somewhere. No, I mean, yeah, it's. I know. Do I have a very Norwegian English accent, or
Yes,
am I
you do.
like, yeah?
Yeah, you do.
Because
But that's not to say it's not. I mean, your English is very well. It's easy to understand. You don't seem to be struggling with it at all. But I can very clearly hear that it is a Norwegian speaking English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should listen to, say my uncle or my mom or my dad speaking English, because I wasn't very old when I realized that I had to do the talking when we went on holiday. I mean, if I will have children one day, their English is going to be pretty
much perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Just everything they consume. Norway has some good productions. I love Norwegian comedy and television series, but most of the time I'm watching stuff in English because I want to watch what all the rest of the world is watching.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably going to be like that for children's stuff too, with YouTube taking over.
And I understand it, but in a way it's kind of a sad thing because I kind of see it already. There are some Norwegian artists, and whether they're musicians, whether they're stand-up comics, actors, actresses, writers, film producers, that are starting to struggle because it's getting harder and harder to make an acceptable Norwegian product for the Norwegian public, because everybody's leaning towards all things English, all things American.
Yeah, you can't watch Game of Thrones with a big budget HBO money,
right?
And then you go and watch same style of Norwegian show. It's gonna look much worse just because HBO throws $1 billion on the project. Wow. Yeah. And Arcade can only do so much,
Yeah, it's a little sad. I worry about the future of Norwegian entertainment. I really do.
It's the big corp world, John. That's the world we're living in right now.
It is. Well, hopefully they'll be nice to me and I can keep my podcast and make it grow.
Yeah, but I think it's sad because everything is going in that direction.
Yeah, it is.
With music, with television, with even books. You can buy a book today of a social media influencer who didn't have nothing to do with the book. She took the pictures in her room, but all she did was go to a room and sign 1,000 of them and then sold 1,000 of them and made a lot of money.
Yeah,
So, there's certain people in Norway that do it all by themselves. There's a humor thing, humor.
Yeah.
You know about that?
Yes. Yeah.
I like them because they're like old-time, or some of them are old-time comedians doing their thing still and making their own production, doing everything themselves, and it's going very good. Have their own stage and merch, and they're making money. You
know who I think is going to go on and do some big things? Do you know Enia James?
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy is so talented.
He's very good.
He's somebody that I had wanted to have on for quite some time, and I just never got around to it until I finally did. And we did that podcast episode, and he was telling me some of the things that he'd been involved in, some of these rather big productions in TV and whatnot. I had no idea he was that talented. That guy's a go-getter.
I could see cameras to the premiere too.
Oh, did he?
Filmed and I got a message from him with like a video of me with a cool little, a clip of me playing. I think I played No Diggity or something, and with the intro, and he sent me in, and I was like, okay, this is post-worthy. Okay, I have to post this. He's a good guy. Actually, I walked home from the studio the other day. This is probably like 4 or 5 days ago, and then a car stops right in front of me, and the window goes down, and it's Inya just like pointing his head through the window driving by. So that's cool that you mentioned him, actually.
No, I like that guy. I'm going to give him a call here. I'll just say it out loud. I'm going to call him because I have an idea. I want to pitch a program to him that I want to pitch to a productions company and see if I can get him involved in filming a little something that I want to present to to a production company.
Let me make the intro music, then I'll do it for free.
Oh man, what about my intro music?
Oh no, you can do it. Okay, I can do the outro.
How about a collaboration? Okay, yeah, you can do the outro music. You can do the outro.
Yeah, you split it in two. I have good ideas. I don't know what the project is, but I have some good ideas. I can twist and bend stuff. So,
yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, yeah, if you did a version of No Diggity, then I'm sure you can work with me. Absolutely. No, but I
the covers that I do every stream too. No Diggity, and then going into Lighters Up by Lil Kim. And then I've started doing, that song Pony by Genuine.
Yes, you did that last night. Yeah.
I just throw that song into places.
I started laughing so hard when you started in on Pony, because that was just so unexpected, and yet it fit. It was perfect. It was so cool. It was cool.
I mean, if I can do a song nicely, and I most of the time if I'm watching television, I just realized why I'm probably single, because every time I turn on the TV, I have a guitar in my lap and I'm playing and like humming for myself. And I've done this cover now because I'm doing some Christmas concerts where I've sung the song Här kommer vintern. If you haven't heard that, you should definitely listen. I played that probably 10 times while I sat in the sofa, and then I get tired, and then I listen to Genuine in the car. I'm that type of guy. I listen to Pony while driving. That's weird. But I just started singing.
Yeah, that was so cool. That was really cool when you did that last. And you did that Norwegian Christmas song as well. I was probably the only one that understood the lyrics, but thank you for doing that one too.
I'm trying to do a little bit of Norwegian in my streams if there's a lot of people watching.
Sure.
This is my place, I'm going to Oslo. Then maybe my friend's restaurant doesn't go bankrupt. I don't know. Something could happen.
No, I'm going to give Innie a call though, and see if he has some time to help me out, and we'll see. Maybe I'll be doing some TV stuff if anybody likes it. We'll see.
Yeah, you should.
I want to. It was fun. I tell you, I've been to TV2 and to NRK on TV there, and it's interesting. It's
pretty recently, right?
Yeah, very, very recently. It was about a month ago, maybe. That was the last time, and then a couple of times before that, and some radio stuff. But it's very interesting to see how they do things. It's not as simple as it looks on TV. There's so much going on in the background. It fascinated me. So,
can I tell you a little story from my childhood?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because about this, it's a very, very, very like in theme now, and I wanna tell you, because I don't think I've talked about this before to anyone.
Yeah.
But I did theater when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I was on stage all the time doing plays and stuff. And then me and my stepbrother was going on this. It's called Super Quiz. It's a children's quiz show on one of the children's channels,
I think I remember that show, actually. I think that was still on the air when I came here in 2002.
Yeah, so me and my stepbrother were there and had the quiz in like the green screen room, and you went through all the cameras, and then Erik Solbakken, the host, he was a pretty famous Norwegian guy, came in there and had a good time with us, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
And then I just, I'm an entertainer, so I entertained when I was there. I was on. And, probably a month after, they called from NRK.
Yeah.
And they wanted me for an audition for for a show that he was starting. That was like the big Friday television child show. I went to do the audition. I was very, very nervous. And I didn't do it very well, but I didn't get be in the studio, do everything with him.
Right.
But I got an actor part in the show, so I'm in. If you search through the NRK archives, and there, you can still see that. You can find me dressed up as a girl. You can find me singing with a very famous choir in Norway, Sølvguttene.
Oh, really?
We were in one of the big studios at NRK, Store Studio, singing with Sølvguttene. and yeah, pretty big production, like
How cool is that?
TV program.
How cool
And
is that?
I was the guy in school who like had to take 2 days off to go to Oslo to shoot a TV show.
Yeah.
And that was very cool. Even though I was a ginger with a little bit of fat in my stomach. That was so cool.
How old were you?
14, 15, I would say. 13 maybe. I don't remember exactly. Probably around 13.
Now, did you?
I was allowed to take the train alone to Oslo and then meet the guy from NRK at the door when I went out the train. So I wasn't very old.
Yeah.
But I think it's difficult to think back because the years are moving on so fast.
No, it's just very interesting to see how everything works. Of course, I didn't see everything, but just seeing the way it is behind the scenes. I think the most fun I had was the first time when I was on TV2, Good Morning Norge, Good Morning Norway, when I was on that one, and to see these television celebrities come up to me and say hi and tell me they liked my work from my podcast and all that stuff. And it's like, I'm just starstruck because these people that I admire and I only see them on TV are saying these things. And then I saw the weather lady, Isabella.
Yeah.
And I've had a crush on her for 20 years, and I actually got to see her, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Pretty. I mean, pretty weather forecasters or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not on something you only see in the movies. That's real.
Here in Norway, the weather ladies for TV2 are. I don't know. I don't know who's hiring them, but
it seems like they're casted in some way. I mean,
they just have such a presence, and then to see Isabella
perfectly in the role.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, they're so professional. So they're beautiful, they're professional, and they just fit. And I like the way they do it, but it's not they're not exploiting their sexuality. They're not doing that because they're fully dressed and everything, but they're dressed well and they have composure and they're beautiful and they just it's just a pleasant presentation of a woman in a professional atmosphere. So TV2 is doing it right. I like it.
I think I know why.
Why is it?
You know why?
Why?
Because the information they're coming with isn't very exciting, is it? Because you could just go to wake up and see, okay, it's raining today.
That's true.
They need to we need to look good. We need to present this in a very good way so people will actually listen to us. Okay, we want to give information that you can just Google and find the exact thing. I mean, so I think unfortunately the weather is part of the news. It's nearing its last chapter. I think.
I think it is. I don't know.
You have ears, but I know that's the only thing you need.
Yeah,
and
that's all you
everyone
need.
has a smartphone. Everyone is online all the time.
Everyone has the smartphone. You want to know what the weather's going to be? That's where you're going to go. The days where you would wake up at 6 a.m. with a cup of coffee to watch the weather lady tell you what the weather is going to be, I think those days are gone.
I have never experienced those days. I can't imagine how those days would go. You were probably used to that.
Well, when I came here, in order to learn Norwegian, because I didn't take a class. Actually, I went to a class and it lasted 2 days. And I left the Norwegian class because it was boring and I was going too slow. So to learn Norwegian, I taught myself how to learn Norwegian. And a big part of that was watching the news.
Yeah.
And just hearing it, just listening to it and trying to get the context of what they were saying by the photo or the film that was going behind them. And watching the weather ladies and listening to them and how they're pointing at the green screen and everything. And it really helped me. It really did. But through that, of course, then I got my crush on Isabella and a couple other those weather ladies. I still can't believe I got to meet Isabella. That was amazing.
No, that's a good. Do you get that imposter syndrome sometimes? Because I've heard people talk about that, where you're like, okay, am I supposed to be here actually? Because I've been very fortunate in a lot of ways here in Norway, and most recently with this podcast.
I never question if I'm supposed to be there, but I can certainly feel that, oh my gosh, feeling when I am there. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm here. Oh my gosh, that's Isabella, or oh my gosh, that's, I'll tell you one of the craziest experiences like that I ever had was when Jonas Fjeld asked me to rewrite one of his songs. He wanted a song of his in English.
Yeah.
And I said yes, and I flew down here. I was living up in Nordtroms at the time. And I flew down here, and a friend of mine, Cato Christensen, who is one of the backup singers and drummer in Jonas Fjeld's band, drove me to Jonas Fjeld's house up at Kornerud here. And he comes to the door, and I was not nervous at all until I saw him when he came to the door. Then it hit me. It's like, oh my gosh. And then to be invited into his home and down to his studio and working on things and all that stuff. And it was just that feeling of not that I questioned whether or not I should be there, but just this awesome feeling of being overwhelmed because I was there. Yeah.
I understand what you mean. It's just one of the few concerts I've been able to do this year was at the Norske Teatret.
Ah, beautiful. Beautiful venue.
I've done a lot of bars. I've done a lot of cafes. I've done some cool places, but that was like, okay, we're going there. I mean, that's a very cool place.
Yeah.
And we went up all the nights. Have you been there?
No, but I've seen so many pictures. I know some people who work there, so that I'm quite familiar with what it's all about and the history and everything.
Like this massive staircase, you come and go up into, and we went. Just talked to somebody who worked there, so I went into I had a backstage at the Norske Teatret. I never have a backstage. I sit at the table with everyone else. And we went to the terrace and watched people walk in.
Yeah.
We're actually doing a concert. I'm not prepared for it.
How did you get that gig? How did you get that booked?
I just know a lot of people in Oslo, and I think now when people are doing events where they're showcasing musicians, I'm one of the go-to guys that people send messages to. I know places that I never knew about the open mic, and then I get a message from them, do you want to come here? And then one of the guys that I've done that with a lot is a guy called Mehenda. I don't know if you know him, but he's a very good. He's a photographer, I think, originally, and he does events.
Oh, wait a minute! Is he that little black guy?
I think he has short dreads, and he does art bar. He does a lot of cool stuff.
Well, isn't he the guy that was about to get some kind of a show on Netflix or something?
Maybe I haven't heard
because I met a guy, and I want to say that's his name. I met some guy at Steinar's the first night when I met you, and the dude was he was high. He was if it was smokable, he smoked it.
No, that's not him.
Okay,
him.
Okay, okay, somebody else.
But he's a family guy. But he does shows with a band called Alex and Pueblos. They're a very good band in Oslo. Goes around. They've been to Café Sør, and we've played together many times at Melahuset.
Okay.
So I know all those guys.
Now I tell you, it pays off to be a nice guy and to be well liked. Some people don't realize how valuable.
You don't want to be the guy who people hates or a controversial guy. I'm just a normal. There's nothing out of the ordinary with me, so I don't have to be.
Well, but I'll do you better than that. You're not just an ordinary guy. You're an exceptionally friendly guy. You're so easy to talk with.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's just in your character. You're so easy to talk to. You're so pleasant. People can't help but like you. That's not normal. That's above and beyond. And I think that's going to be, it will serve you well that you have that kind of a personality. Absolutely.
Yeah. I listened to a podcast yesterday, and someone said, give everything, expect nothing. And I was like, oh, yes, that's what I've been feeling for the last that is a good motto to live by. It really is.
give everything
I've
and
never
expect
heard
nothing.
anyone say that before. I'm sure it's probably a known expression. But I was like, okay, yeah, that's true, because I've done that.
Yeah.
And I've played hundreds of free shows. I've played everywhere. And if you ask me to play somewhere, I am going to say yes.
And that's a good thing, to get your experience, to get your chops in, to feel comfortable on stage. But when will you get to a point to where you expect, well, here we go, you're not supposed to expect anything, but when do you feel you'll get to a point where it will be normal for you to take, to be paid to perform?
If people book me now, then I take a little bit of a...
You won't say no if somebody books you.
No, because I have my own enkeltmannsforetak.
LLC. That would be your own business. Yeah, we'll just call it a business. Yeah,
just me. It's just my name, us, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do send some invoices now, but it's hard to get booked for something bigger when you haven't released any music, and when nobody really knows who you are. Well,
but then again, if you get your 25,000, I don't even think you'll need to get that many. But let's say you get your 25,000 streams on your new release, and if you can get somebody to film, talk to India, for example, get somebody to film you performing just a short little 30-second piece of a song, and you start presenting that to people who are booking shows, you will get booked and you will get paid. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
I think so too. There's just it's a barrier, because I don't want to.
Barrier.
I'm never gonna ask any of my friends for any money for me to come play somewhere.
No, I get that.
After all, it's gonna be it's a thing I want to live doing, and you need money to live. So, yeah. It's a difficult one.
Yeah, I get that. That is a weird situation to be asking friends for money.
I guess when there's competition about me being places, that's when I have to start taking money. Because if you ask me, can you play here for these people, and then I can book a venue and get 20,000 people, or let's say 500 people there, I'm going to choose that. So you need to build up and have an audience that will come and see me before I can take money.
Let me ask you this.
Now people are coming because there is a concert. They don't know that it's me playing.
Well, but how about, instead of you having to ask your friends for money, how about if you were giving your friends money? Here's a little idea I have. Let's say that you were able to gather 70, 75 people. You do the work on social media, and you get 75 people to prepay for a 120 kroner ticket to see you play, and you tell them that you're going to play somewhere in Oslo. Please support me by, it's almost like a crowdfunding thing. Support me.
That's a very good idea.
I'm thinking, support me by paying, I don't know, let's say 150 kroners. That's not a lot of money. 150 kroners to see me play. And then all of a sudden, when you've got 75 tickets sold, then you go to a friend of yours who has a venue and you say, hey, I'm bringing these people. Can you have some kind of a special on the alcohol? Maybe people only pay 75% for alcohol in this night, and I'll come to your place. That is a lot of money for your friend, and it will put money in your pocket.
Especially now, because I can say, I have these 75 people, the venue is disclosed, and then nobody knows yet where it is. Can we do 75 people at this bar with all the regulations and stuff? And
there you go.
They come in for free. I take the money from the tickets, and then you get everything from the bar.
There you go.
Good idea, John, and thank you for that. I'm going to take your idea.
You should seriously do. You should seriously do that, because I think
I have thought about something similar before.
Well, I don't believe in letting finances and the business side of things overshadow the art. I'm very much in touch with my art, but I also want to make a living, and I also want to have a financial legacy to pass on to my wife, my children, my wife is going to die before me. So to my children and grandchildren when I pass. So that means that I have to make decisions, and I have to present my art in a way that brings me an income. And I don't have any bad feelings about that. I have no guilt for doing that.
No.
So keep that in mind. Yeah. So
you want a job where it feels like you're stealing the paychecks anyways, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think
good.
I don't think about money now. I think the money will come at some point.
Yeah. Well, there's a little idea for you, though. You know, pre-selling tickets through social media, some type of crowdfunding. You know, people already love you, and as they get to know you, they're going to be even more people who love you even more. And I don't think you would have a problem getting 70, 75 people, or however many, 60, whatever the venue will allow. Mm-hmm. And then once you've got it sold, you announce the venue, and the venue makes money, and so do you.
Yeah, and I think that the venues will bite on that idea too now.
Yeah.
Because they're struggling for people. If you could have it arranged a night where they even have more people working and counting hours at the venue, that's good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, free financial and business advice from me. See, you get things when you come on this podcast.
One of the first good financial advices I've ever gotten on the podcast. So that's thank you so much. I've only been on your podcast once though, so that's a good idea. Absolutely, I'm going to think about that one.
Do that. I think it would work for you.
So I'm excited. I think we can do 25,000. I'm a believer. I'm positive.
I think it'll work. How about getting on some radio station? Have you?
I've tried to do it, and maybe I shouldn't say this because I reveal my plans. But I'm going to tell you. I don't care. So I've sent people to try to get the radio station's attention for me instead of me trying to do it myself. So I have sent very few emails out to all of the radio stations. I've tried to, I don't know, I think, or I believe in some way that if they notice me without me having to contact them first, that's a cool thing, or that's a good thing for business. But I don't know if it's true or not.
Can I give you some advice?
Yes, please.
I'm a little bit older than you, so I'm gonna put some wisdom into this.
Yeah.
Of course, it's cool when other people tell the movers and the shakers about you. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to feel like you have control, if you want to have control, if you want to have more confidence, and if you want to make a stronger impression on the person that you're eventually trying to get to notice you, it's always best if you do it yourself. Always best if you do it yourself.
I do, since I have so direct contact with all the people that listen to my music, I do tell them like exactly what to send. Like, for example, hi, my name is John. I'm from, I live in Drammen, and I want to hear this song on the radio. Like, I don't know if that's what they've sent, but
I mean, that's one way to do it. Yeah. And that would be effective, especially if you got a lot of people to do that. You know, just imagine if a radio station in the course of 2 weeks got over 100 emails about you.
Yeah.
That's very effective.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess think about how much more effective it would be if they got that, plus they heard from you directly.
Yeah, I have a list of people I'm gonna contact, and I will contact them. It's just I think I'm a little bit scared to be denied.
You are, but that's normal.
Yeah,
but
if it comes without me having to ask for it, then well, I don't have to do that good of a job. So I mean.
But that's your safe zone. You're operating within your safe zone if you want to grow, because when you're uncomfortable, that means that you're putting yourself under some sort of stress. And stress, when it is managed in proper amounts, whether it's mental or physiological stress, it brings growth.
Mm.
So you're going to grow. You're going to have a new type of confidence when you can bring yourself to actually start approaching these people yourself. You'll see that.
I just don't know how to do it in the correct way. That's probably why. Because that's one of the things that I haven't done before. And I don't know who to ask either. Maybe I'll ask you then. What should I send them? What should I say to them to make them interested in my music or me or whatever?
You have to send them links to your social media so they can see how many followers and viewers you have. You have to have that 30-second well-produced video of you performing live.
Yeah.
And you need about 2 paragraphs of well-written text about who you are and what you can do for that person or that company, whoever you're approaching.
Mm-hmm.
And you send that out on an email. And in that email, you say that you're going to follow up with a phone call in a few days.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so
that's...
you have to listen. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
because that's the little extra that a lot of people in a lot of new beginners in the entertainment business don't do. They don't follow up that initial contact. You have to follow that up. So
if they don't follow that up, they have to answer if I call. Maybe.
Well, yeah, and what I've found is that it's quite easy to get, Norwegian celebrities and Norwegian people in the top of the entertainment business, they seem quite easy to reach. I mean, some of them are right there on Facebook like any other person. Mm-hmm. Some of them have their phone numbers listed like any other person. Mm-hmm. So, not all of them, but some of them do. So if you're able to get their phone number, and you tell them that you're going to call them in a couple of days, and then you do call them in a couple of days, I guarantee you'll leave a mark. They will remember you in one way or another.
Isn't it a little bit creepy?
No, not at all. They're look, they're business people. If somebody sent me an email and said, because I have my telephone numbers up on my Facebook, my Facebook page for my podcast, it has my telephone number there. People can direct message me and stuff. So if someone direct messaged me and said, John, I have this idea to do a podcast episode with you. I'd really love to do this. Here's my social media profile. Here's some reading material about what I'd like to talk about. Please look over this, and I'm going to call you in a couple of days. I would already, before that person called me, before I did any research, I would be impressed, because here is somebody who really wants to come on my show. So the question then is, do you really want to be a musician who is being recorded, produced, and given exposure? So you need to show that to that management bureau or to that production company or to that studio or to that record label?
And the answer is yes.
There you go.
It's absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that the thing you're telling me now, it's right, but I'm Norwegian, and it's
you're Norwegian. We can't get past that.
You have that confidence that only the American people have. You talk to people in elevators and stuff, don't you? I don't do that. I'm always with my headphones on, not trying to disturb or include myself in any people's day in any way. I try to.
But you know what? I'm that way too. I am much more in solitude than I am in the company of others, by far. But when I have to get up and do my job, when I have to do this podcasting, when I'm going to perform stand-up or perform music, I put that hat on and I become that entertainer. And then in the course of getting to the microphone or getting to the stage, there are certain things I have to do on the business side, because nobody's ever going to promote you better than you.
No.
And I've realized that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say again?
I'm very introvert. But
believe it or not, I'm also introverted. Again, I am very quiet, and I am not to be found if I'm not doing my podcast or on the stage. But again, you have to know that if you have a passion for what you're doing, and you understand that nobody is going to promote you better than you yourself. And if you want control over your own path, then you learn to, you'll never overcome shyness. You'll never overcome being an introvert, but you will do what it takes in order for you to succeed at your craft. See, that's a different thing. So you don't have to redo your personality at all. You just have to compartmentalize it. You have life, and then you have your art, your craft, which you are trying to promote.
And I want to excel. I want to go on to the next level because I am what I can do now. Mm-hmm. I want to see what I haven't, or do what I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
I want to play bigger stages. My main goal now is to get a slot for to be a warm-up act for a bigger act when stuff, because I know that there's a lot of people that's making albums right now because they can't go out and play anywhere, and that means there's going to be a lot of artists going on tour straight after they can. If they've just released an album, they want to go tour and make as much money from that album as possible.
Yes.
And they need people to warm up for them. And I'm trying to reach out to a lot of other artists.
Who would you most like to warm up for?
Ooh, like the dream is Ed Sheeran, of course.
Yes.
Or maybe okay. I'm sorry, Ed, you're not listening to this, but Paul Simon is going to be the first one. Paul Simon, since he's old, and Ed Sheeran on the second space.
Well, that's two good choices. That's two good choices.
I'm not reaching out to them though yet. I have tried to get in contact with some other artists, like Jamie Lawson is the first guy that Ed Sheeran signed to his own label. So I've messaged him, sending him some demos.
So cool.
There's a UK artist called Macy Peters, who is a very, very talented woman, and she makes kind of like the same music as I do, even though I just found her about a year ago.
Okay. And
I was listening to her song and was like, okay, I could have made that. This song is very, I like this song. This is good.
Yeah.
So I messaged her and I got the Reddit people to go and bombard her comments and stuff. I haven't heard anything. I'm hoping one day.
Yeah.
But like say Astrid S, the level that she's on, I want to go on tour with one of those acts.
Okay.
So I can play like 4,000 maybe capacity places in Oslo and in Denmark, Sweden, Germany, and go from there, because then I'll make money being a musician.
Yeah.
I will just do music, which I think will be good for my music.
Sure.
So now I'm working a different job on the side because I have to.
Yeah.
I think that's the way for me to progress from here. I have the plan. I just need to execute the plan.
Yeah,
that's all.
Well, no, I mean, you're on your way. I mean, this getting these thousands of viewers on Reddit is definitely going to help. And
about 1 million people has watched the streams.
That's amazing. There's no other way at this point you would have ever gotten that exposure. So that is that's just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's a number I never thought I will ever get to in anything.
And it's going to lead to bigger and better things. So you are well on your way. Maybe we'll see you on the stage with Ed Sheeran sometime.
I mean, I'm crossing my fingers. I don't know if I would though. I don't know if I could.
Sure, you could.
Yeah, I could.
Sure,
what am I saying? Of course I would.
Of course you would. But, look. If Bill Burr were to call me, or Mark Norman, or Louis C.K. or somebody like that were to call me right now and say, "Hey, I'm coming to Norway. I think it's cool that you're a black dude from America. Would you like to open for me?" Even though I have no material now, even though I haven't been on, I would just say yes. Just say yes.
Yeah, of course, it would have been an honor. I am just, this is such a hypothetical theme right now.
But hypothetical is just half a step from reality. So
True, it's true. No, the idea exists in the world, so maybe it will happen someday.
You're so Norwegian. That's a good thing, though. I married a Norwegian, so it can't be that bad. So
no. I think I could do though.
Sure, you could.
I think that's a reachable goal. I think you need to aim a little bit higher than maybe you should, but
I think so.
Then you, if it happens, then that's very cool. So
I believe in reaching for goals that I think are too big for me, and I'll grow into that goal. I see it. I want to do it. I don't know how I can do it, but I just start doing the work, and then I make it happen.
Yeah, and for anyone listening who's aspiring to be a musician or a stand-up comedian or anything, I want to give you guys a tips, because set yourself goals. That's one of the most important part for me, at least, because before I was just doing the same thing. I was doing the circle, playing every night, doing it, drinking a beer, and then having a good time. We played every night, and I wrote songs, but I didn't know where I wanted to go with it.
Yeah.
Then I set myself goals. I'm going to release these songs. I will release maybe some videos or do like certain things.
Yeah.
And that's helped a lot. I said to myself, I'm going to try to stream every day. And some days I can't, like, it's impossible. But if I don't have anything else to do, I am on Reddit. I am streaming. I am trying to reach out to as many people as physically possible. I'm answering messages from people around the world sending me. If you want to get in contact with me, it's very, very easy. And I'm trying to reach out my hand for as many people to shake it as possible.
Well, so, I'm gonna definitely do what I can to help that happen for you. I this platform on my podcast is always open to you. I consider you a friend and a brother and a fellow artist. And anytime you have anything going on, or even if you don't have anything going on, come on here. And my listeners, I love you, and I hope that spills over, and my listeners love you as well. It's
I really enjoy coming and talking to you too. It's if I need therapy, I'm gonna say I want to be going podcasting.
Hey, anytime, man.
Feeling down. I want to talk to John now for a couple hours.
But isn't it nice just to sit and talk about things that interest you? There's no interruption. We can just have this conversation about what we have in common with our interests. I love it. It's fun.
I never do this. I never talk to people for so long without looking at my phone or watching a movie or doing anything. This is very rare for me to sit and just talk with someone.
Well, I'm glad you.
Yeah, I'm talking to my mom on my phone, and I'm only talking to her for 10 minutes. never 2 hours. Sometimes, but very rarely. So. Well,
I'm glad you enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. I want my listeners to enjoy it. It has talking like this with good people has a therapeutic effect for me. There's so much craziness out there in the world, a lot of anger, a lot of, depression, a lot of darkness. And I loved coming here, getting on the mic and just talking with somebody who I like. And we just talk about whatever fits to talk about. And there's a therapeutic effect that has for me. So I appreciate you. I really do.
No, of course. And if you want to have me on, just ask me. I can do one every week.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, one of I think probably the podcast or radio show, even if we count in all the songs I've ever listened to and all the television shows I've ever watched, there's this radio show in Norway that beats all of it.
Yeah.
And it's Radioresepsjon.
Okay.
Have you heard about those guys?
No, I haven't. No.
And there's Tore Sagen and Steinar Sagen. They're brothers.
Okay, I've heard of them. Okay, that's their show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with another guy called Bjarte Tjøstheim. I mean, he's from Stavanger. And the chemistry between those guys when they're just talking, and they do that every day, or they do it for a season a year. So it's from this is their last week of shows for this season, and then they'll go back after summer.
Okay.
And they just talk about anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes horribly wrong. They are just three guys, two brothers, and talking about whatever they're talking about.
So it's no music. It's no music. It's just talking on the radio.
It's a radio show, so they have music, but that's just like sometimes they even say, "We're not going to play music now. We're going to talk."
Yeah.
I think they go over the line with almost everything. They're kind of like the radio legends in Norway, because they just do whatever they want to, and people are listening. They even moved them from P3 to a new channel, so they knew that they would get listeners on that new channel.
Well, I should check that out then, because that sounds inspiring. I'm loving doing my podcast, but I want to make it bigger. I would love if this podcast could get picked up by NRK or something like that, and make it this.
You have the radio voice.
That's what people say. And it would be no problem for me to speak Norwegian, but I wonder if I would be losing part of my personality or part of my character if I were to do a radio show in Norwegian. But having said that, I had another podcast guest on a few weeks back, Miss England Brooks. She lives up in Bodø. She's from Los Angeles, a Black American from Los Angeles, and she just got a radio show. Now, it's only local radio, but still, it's a radio show, and she does it in English.
Yeah. So everyone knows English here.
So that was inspiring when she told me she was getting that gig.
But can I, if I were to talk to you only in Norwegian, would you understand everything that I am saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you this. Except for when I'm doing stand-up, when I'm podcasting, or when I'm working on a music project, I always speak Norwegian out in public, and I learned my Norwegian very quickly. I came here the 5th of June, 2002, and by October, I was able to have conversations with people.
Been here almost as long as me. So,
yeah.
I mean, then there's no problem. Then you can talk to. I mean, if you have a guest on that isn't comfortable talking English, they could still talk Norwegian with you.
Sure.
And you'll just
because I would like to market this podcast into a radio show, but keep it exactly the way it is. I would speak English. I would have my guests speak English, because I think there's a certain attractiveness to that for the Norwegian listener.
There's an open spot on YouTube now for this kind of podcast. I know Joe Rogan has moved to Spotify.
Yes.
So you can take his channel.
I got Joe out of the way. Now here I come.
Switch out Joe for John. Just give John your channel, because he can't post anything or be there. He probably has like 15 million subscribers.
Well, and another thing that I want to talk to Ania James about is I need someone to help me, because I don't know how to. I'm seeing you on a video, but all my listeners will hear is the sound. I don't know how to take this video and make it look good and combine it with my good sound and then put it out on YouTube. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to talk to Inia, and maybe he can give me some tips on how to do that, because I
should buy another microphone and buy another pair of headsets and a camera, and I'll come do the show in your house, and we can have a real conversation.
Oh, I have enough. I have enough. I have two heads. I have four microphones. Excuse me, and 3 headsets. So there's enough for you to come here and do it live. I just the other day I had this wonderful lady. You need to look at the current episode that's up there now. This beautiful young lady who's talking about using nature to heal and things like that. Just fantastic woman. Mm-hmm. She was here in the studio, but I mask up and we make sure we don't touch each other or anything, and thinking about COVID. But yeah, we could have done this with you here, absolutely, if you wouldn't mind coming to Durham.
Next time, I think that's better.
Yeah.
Probably better sound too. I'm sorry, everyone listening, for the sound quality in my OnePlus Nord phone. But if it's good, this is a very good commercial for OnePlus. So please, OnePlus, Jen and I. We're doing entertainment in 2020, and it's not easy. So,
it's not easy. Help us out. Help us, and we'll help you. OnePlus.
Yes. OnePlus. No, okay. No, then, No, obviously I'll come and bring my guitar and I'll play some songs for you too.
Man, that would be nice. You are very welcome in our home. It'd be nice for you to meet my wife and our kids and hang out for a little while. We're being very careful about the COVID-19. My wife works in the health industry, and so we're being very careful. I don't know, over the last 6 months, I think I've only had 3 guests come here. But it was
Are you going to take the vaccine when it comes?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Because I've asked people that, because I am also like you. I say, yes, of course I'm going to do that. But I've asked many people, and they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to take it.
I'm very sure. I would rather take my chance. I would rather be that one in 900 million people who has a bad reaction than be that one in just a few thousand who catches COVID.
I'm very pro-vaccine. So,
absolutely, me too.
I'm going to stand in line for the first possible.
Me too. I will trust science. I'm a believer in the dangers of COVID. I think people who try to deny it are a little bit crazy. But for me, I will take that vaccine. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're denying COVID as a phenomenon, and you have seen there was a lot of people outside the government building just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. None of them were wearing masks. No. They were protesting about corona and everything.
It's so irresponsible.
And I don't know.
It's so irresponsible.
It is very irresponsible, and it's very frustrating for all of us that's actually trying to do as good as we can. I live in the middle of Oslo, and I try to go outside as little as I have to. I use most of my time in my own apartment if I'm not working or going to the shops and getting food. But this street is very populated all the time. Yeah. And most of the people that's walking through here doesn't live here. Yeah. It's a hip, cool place to be. And then people go here for coffee and something to eat. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. No, my wife and I, every time we go out, we went out to the grocery store today. We wear our mask. We use the hand sanitizer that's at the door of all of the grocery stores and everything. And we social distance, and we have really, really cut down on our social life. Not that we had a big social life before, but the only people who have been here to visit has been, like I said, I think 3 guests have come for the podcast, but then it was mask and social distancing here in the studio. But you're more than welcome to come here, man. That'd be fun to hang out with you for an afternoon.
Yeah, and it's not, I mean, wearing a mask and sanitizing your hand, it's not hard things to do.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't understand people. Yeah.
5 minutes to start, and then you're fine with it.
People act like it's killing them to put on a mask and to use hand sanitizer and to social distance. I don't see the big controversy with that. It's like you said, it's very easy to do.
Grow up, God damn it!
Grow up, God damn it! That's a quote. That's the quote for today.
That's what it's going to say on my tombstone. I think. Grow up, God damn it!
Hey man, listen.
Look at my stone. You should go be productive somewhere else.
Listen, we should run for some political office and tell people how it's supposed to be done. No, I don't mean I don't mean that actually.
Those 4 words I want to tell to so many people. It's maybe I should write a song. Grow up, God damn it.
You should. That would be a good one. Oh man. Hey, listen, I have to get running. I have to make sure I squeeze Snoopy and give her a hug before she leaves for her work tonight.
We've talked for a long time now. I didn't realize.
We talked for almost an hour and 40 minutes, man.
Oh, that's a good podcast.
That's a good podcast. We're keeping it above the average. My average is 93 minutes per episode.
You have to leave in morning more as well, so this is a good place to call it quits.
But hey, we'll be talking again soon. I want to make sure that I follow your progress. I'm looking forward to your release. The 15th of January will be the release date for your song "Before You Know."
Before I know.
Before I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I have pronoun trouble here. Before I know. There we go.
But it sounded cool when you said it, because it was like you.
You.
Yeah, I'm releasing the song. That's, yeah. If you're going to tell that to anybody else, it would be wrong, but you told...
See? So I was wrong at the same time as I was right.
That's
January 15th, before I know.
25,000 in a day, and then the next song is ready to go. Even if it takes a week or 2 weeks, I have it. I can just release it whenever I want to, because I own it. So 25,000 if you're listening, and it's...
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. We can do it. We can do it.
Well, it's a call to action. Everybody who's listening, Fredrik Walmann, his song is Before I Know. We need 25,000 streams. Everybody listening, get on there. Spotify, iTunes, wherever, and let's make it happen.
And the next song is much better than the first one, too. So I'm more excited to release the second one than I am to release the first one. So I want people to listen, not because, of course, I want the numbers, but also because I want to share that second song because it's very, very good. And I know it's a lot of people watching from Reddit's favorite, so they want it to come out too.
I'm excited. It's going to be this is going to be the start of a great, great journey for you. I mean, you're already on your journey. Let me ask you: is there a link or something you can send me that I can post so that people can find you on Reddit? Again, I don't understand how Reddit works.
Yes, so you can go. It's a little bit difficult with Reddit. That's one of the drawbacks because you can't really. You have to search for my username. You can do that, which is Fred Wall. So it's FredWal.
Yeah.
Or you can go to a subreddit called Reddit Sessions, and if I'm doing so, Reddit Sessions, plural. So if I'm on.
What is it called again? The Reddit Sessions is called.
It's called. That's the name of the subreddit.
Oh, just Reddit Sessions. Okay. Yes. The subreddit called Reddit Sessions.
So I'll get with it. You find a ginger beard Norwegian. Probably me.
That's probably him. Well, hey, Fredrik, I love you to death. I'm so glad we did this. Let's not make it so long before the next time. There's no reason.
Let's do it again.
All right,
I'm
man.
I'm always up for it.
Be well. Take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you and goodbye.